In this video, we're going to be looking over this Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 130 ED 35mm point and shoot camera. And my goal in making this video is to show the function of this camera to prospective buyers, as this one is going up for sale, and I want you to be able to see it and to experience it as if you're holding it in your own hands and checking it over. Another purpose is to show people who might have one of these and want to know a little bit more about how it works. I've looked it over and I think I know a fair amount about it, so let's get started with some testing. I have a battery and a scrap roll of film. These are not included, they're just here for our testing purposes. First thing we're going to do is open up the battery compartment, and that's right here on the end. You just flip that door open from the bottom like that. We can see it's nice and clean inside. The battery contacts are nice. We can see it takes a type 123 battery, which I have right here, and the positive goes down, negative up. So let's push that in and snap the door shut. Okay, there we've got that. Now we're going to go around the back here and open up the back and load the film. So to open the back, there's a little latch right here. We just pop that, push that up, and the door pops out. You can see the latch is in good shape. That's a delicate little piece of plastic. While we've got this open, and before we put the film in, I want to just look at the back here a little bit. This camera has some pretty nice optics here, and we can see that right there. The design is pretty nice in that there isn't a need for a lot of foam for light seals on this model, because everything is designed here with sort of mating ridges here on the back, and that all looks to be in good condition. The only foam that's on here is around this little window, and that feels just fine, so that's good. Another thing I want to show while this is open is you can see this is the normal 35mm format, but this camera will take what they call panoramic pictures, and in this case basically what it is, it just cuts out the top and bottom of the picture and makes one long narrow strip. But here, if I activate this little control right there, you can see that's what happened here, the top and bottom, and so then you get a long short picture. And then we can open that back up like that. And I verified that that does also do that in the viewfinder like it's supposed to. So now that we've looked that over, let's load the film. We're going to put the roll over here. Well, I should point out it automatically has these that sense the ISO or the ASA value off of the film cartridge. So when you drop in a cartridge of whatever that is, it will come in and tell the computer and the camera what speed the film is. Put the tail over into here, about like this orange marking here says to put it in. Close the door, and there we hear it running. And there is picture number 1. Now another thing you might want to do with this is to set this quartz date, and we just put a battery in, so it comes up as zeros. Now on the little strap there is a little tool here, and it's Nikon, but there's got this little point, and that allows us to push these tiny little buttons here. And so let's do that here. If we hit this adjust button here, and I didn't get it pushed, maybe I have to hit the mode select button first. No. You know, this tool isn't really very good. Maybe I have to have it on. I'll bet that's it. Okay, so now it's on. Now let's hit the button. That's still not doing anything. Okay, I hit the mode button, and now the 01, it comes up as 1101. So January 1st, 2001. One thing you always want to know about these cameras is at what point does the calendar run out. And so let's start adjusting this upward. There, we're up to 02. Doesn't seem like I'm able to just 4. That tool is really bad for that. I'm going to take this ballpoint pen and retract that and see if that'll push that button better. No, that doesn't work well either. Well, it's a little bit better maybe. Now I'm up to 08. That's really bad. Let's see what else we got here. It might work better. Try this pen. Put the cartridge in, just set that on top of the button. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm just going to keep running this up here. There we're at the year 2025, and that's good because that's where we are right now. So let's see how many years it's still good for. There's 29, 30, 1, 32, 33, 34, 35. Let's see, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Oh, and after 2040 it goes back to 2001. And then after you set the year, you can switch this over here and set the month, and you can hit that and hit the date and all that. So the calendar all works, and then I think there's even a clock after that. Then you can set the hours, and then you can set the minutes, and then you can just have it mode with it all off, with the date showing, and with the date showing in that format. But anyway, that's a minor little thing, but just be aware that it does have that feature. And so now what I'm going to do is test out the zoom, and we can see here the lens is back here. So we're zooming out and zooming in. This camera has a range of what, 38 millimeters to 130. So that's a pretty good range. And it seems to work well with these buttons. Okay, now we're going to just point this here at something kind of over here and fire it. Okay, we saw the lens move to focus, the flash went off, and the shutter went off, and now it's on picture number 2. Now let's shut the flash off here. And we got the flash off. And try that again. Picture number 3, picture number 4. Okay, let's set for the timer here. And we can even turn the flash back on. And now we'll just set this over here and point this at us and push the button. Oh. Okay, now it's blinking. And we'll watch it finish its cycle. Okay, I think that white light also serves as a little bit of a thing to make your pupils dilate just before the flash goes off and it takes the picture to avoid red eye. I saw that it looked like it had that in along with the timer. In fact, it doesn't look like you can do the timer without that little red eye indicator on there. And if you do that, it always lights that up. Okay, well that's really most of what I need to show here, and I know this is a short little roll of film, so I'm just going to pop off the rest of what's on here. I'm going to shut that flash off so as to not waste battery power doing that. There's one. Oh, I didn't shut it off, I left it at automatic. There's off. Okay, off. Picture number 9, picture number 10. I think there might be about 12 frames worth of film on here. Okay, so now it reached the end and now it is rewinding. We can see this is counting backwards. And it will count down to where it's all the way down to 1, and then it keeps running. We hear the film break free, and now it's a flashing E, which means that it is now safe to open up the back, and all of the film has been rewound back into this cartridge. And if this were real roll of film, we could send that in for processing. But it isn't, so we're not going to do that. Fairly nice example of this camera, and everything seemed to be functional on it. We can see there's a little bit of evidence of use, but these cameras were often shoved into pockets and they'd get all scuffed up, and this one really looks pretty nice. It's clearly used, but it's certainly not abused. I'm going to take this battery out since that's not included in the sale, and comes with a nice long strap. There's a little bit of discoloration of the strap here and there, but it's got this little tool which I found was not very good for pushing those little buttons, but that was what it was designed for. So that is a look at this Nikon Lite Touch Zoom 130 ED 35mm film camera.